Hi, my name is Forrest Adair. I spent over 50 years in the printing trade. And now that I've been retired for a couple of years, I started woodworking. Today we're going to build a Bluebird house. I've got a set of plans here. I'll put a link under the video. And it only takes one fence board to make these. You can pick them up at your local lumber yard. This one happens to be cedar, 6 foot long, 5.5 inches wide. So, it's Saturday morning. Let's get started having fun. Before we get started, there's a couple of things that we need to think about. We're going to need a square so that we can make right angle cuts. We're going to need a ruler so that we can measure properly. I'm going to be using a power saw to make my birdhouse, but it's just as easily you could use a hand saw. You could also use a circular saw. Glue and nails, I'm going to use a power nailer, but you could also use a hammer and regular nails and glue. So, now that we've got that behind us, let's get started. Now that I've got everything measured, marked, and labeled, let's head on over to the saw and cut these pieces out and get started. And before we do any cutting, the most important thing is to wear some kind of protection to make sure that the pieces of wood doesn't come back and hit your eyes, which is the most important thing because they are the windows to your world. Getting it on the line and making my first cut. Holding it securely, keeping my fingers away from the blade. Now that we have all our pieces cut, we can take them over to the table and assemble them. Come with me. Well, we've got all our pieces marked, we've got them cut, and we're ready to start some assembly. But first we have to make some small additions to our boards. One is that the front, which would be sitting out here, wouldn't give enough room for the for the roof to have a little slope. So what I did is I took the front and measured an extra ½ inch at the top of the front, marked that. That is where my roof will attach to. So let's mark that right now so we know that this is the correct spot for the roof to go. A couple other things we need to do is we need to drill a few holes. We need to drill 4 holes, one in each corner of the bottom, And we also need to drill 2 holes on each side up here so air ventilation can happen in the little birdhouse. So let's go over to the drill and get started. Got all my pieces. I'm using a drill press to drill mine, but you could also use an electric drill or a cordless drill to do the drilling if you don't have such as a power drill like this. This is a 3/8 inch bit that I'll use for the bottom and the sides, and then I also have a 2.5 inch Forstner bit that I'll use for the opening of the birdhouse. Let's get started. With our 3/8 drill bit securely placed in the drill, I have to make a note here that the plans did not tell you exactly where to place these holes, but I measured roughly 1/2 inch from top to bottom, and I'm going to place the hole in that area there. I just marked these. So let's see, we've got to make some adjustments so that the drill press works correctly. Okay, let's tighten it off and square. Alright, hold our piece secure and roughly drill our hole there. Since we're building a rough made birdhouse, I don't think it really makes much difference. The birds are not going to complain where the hole's at. And for the sides, I just marked 2 inches down and 1 inch from the side here. I know what my problem is, I just haven't got the right kind of board. Hold on a minute, we'll figure this out. Okay, for the sides, you need to securely hold down the board into the sacrificial. I had to replace this one, the other one was a little wobbly. So, let's drill our other hole on the front, on the side, I'm sorry. This is the side. Again, we just drill the hole as close as we can to what we think would be a good spot. And the other side, I'm going to use this as a guide so that I can put them roughly in the exact same spot. Making sure to hold our boards secure so we don't move them. Now that we have our holes drilled in the sides and in the bottom floor, let's reset up with a 2.25 inch Forstner bit and drill the hole in the front for the birds to get in and out of the little house. Now that we have our front piece secured and ready to drill, a couple of things to talk about. In the instructions it says to measure 6 inches from the top to the bottom, and that's the center of your 2.25 inch hole. So I measured, and then I marked halfway of our 5.5, which is 2 3/4, and made a mark and used my square to give me a defined point to drill at. I've also secured it tightly in the vise of the clamp and ready to go. Okay? Turn the drill on. We drill slowly and take the drill bit back out every once in a while to clean the shavings. Now that we have our hole drilled, it's time to start assembling. Okay, we've got all our pieces cut, marked, ready, drilled, everything's ready. The plans call for putting a couple of holes in the back and in the front so that nails can be placed in there and a lock so that this side panel can actually be opened and cleaned out as time goes by. So first what we want to do is we need to attach this side to the back so that it's ready to go. This one does not have the holes. So let's take it, put a bead of glue on it. Sure I got it right. There we go. Yeah, I got it right. Alright. Just like that. Let's turn it up on its end so I can get to it a little better. This is the side that's not going to come loose. This is the side, make sure everything's kind of halfway lined up. And let's put a couple of nails. Like I said before now, you can use a regular hammer and nails and get the same process. I've got like 6 of these to build for the neighborhood, so I'm going to use my gun. Alright, there we go for that. Now then, our back here and our front, we can go ahead and glue this one on right there and tack it. Alright. Wrong gun. Alright, now then, let's wipe off some of that glue. Looks like one of my nails went through the side, but again, we're talking about little bluebirds. I doubt they'll notice. Alright, so now then we attach the side here that's going to swing open. Okay, we have 2 holes here and 1 hole here. I have some outdoor nails that I'll put in the hole here. I can find the, there it is. Alright, and I'm going to turn the house on its side. There we go. Push it back, get it all set. I'm going to use a couple of brads to hold it in place. The only thing we've got left is we need to do the roof right here. And like I said, I made it extra high. I'm going to use a little spacer. Okay, pull the little spacer out. Birdhouse, just perfect. Well, not just perfect, but it'll do the job. Well, I've enjoyed spending Saturday morning building a birdhouse with you. Not bad for a fence board. We got our holes in the bottom. We got our little piece that comes out on the side to clean it out. And we got our hole drilled and a little bit of slope to our roof so that when it comes time for the rain, it won't be too bad and the birds won't get too wet. I've enjoyed this. My name is Forrest Adair. Hope you've enjoyed it also.